This is a map. I don't know if you're familiar. This is the United States.
Do you find the basic shape of the continental 48 pleasing in itself?
Yeah, if your state has a unique shape, like I love Colorado. Colorado's an amazing place. But like if everyone wants a wooden cutting board of their state, Colorado is just a square. All right. So anyway, welcome back to Good Morning with Jim and Jerry.
This is what a morning show should be. Just
little
two
bit of
guys in a
banter.
map. Tell us where you're from and we'll point it out for you.
You know, Jerry, I cannot look at a map without considering where I'm going to eat. That's just how I view things. So we're going back on tour, and we're going to show you the places we're going, and we're going to also do some fun, cute banter. Mm-hmm. We are starting in the Great North, in Toronto. You ever had Namano bar?
No.
See, I'm good at this stuff, right?
I love the word Quebecois, though. It's one of my
Yes.
favorite
It's
words.
amazing. So Montreal, we know they have the poutine, or poutine.
Yeah.
And Ottawa has their own version of poutine, which is just got a squeakier cheese.
Ottawa is how I made enough money to move from New York to L.A. when I was 25.
Really?
Yeah, I went to Ottawa, and there was a club there called Hiccups that paid $500 a week for like 12 shows. And I kept going there, and then I saved up $2,000, and that's how I moved to L.A.
Wow.
and got into television.
Do you know why we're here? To be out. This is out. And out is one of the single most enjoyable experiences of life. People, you know how many people talk about we should go out? This is what they're talking about.
Why are Canadians such an exceptional audience?
The colder the weather, the better the audience.
Yeah.
Because if it's cold, you're going to stay in more, you're going to read more, you're going to be smarter.
Okay, so that's one leg, right? Is
Okay.
Montreal,
I have no idea where we're going.
Montreal.
I don't care where
Ottawa.
I go.
You just want to be with me.
Yeah. The greatest thing in comedy is making people happy. That's the reason you do it. If people laugh and they smile and you've made them happy, that is why you do it. But the second greatest thing is hanging out with other comedians. That's the other gigantic component, which is why I did my show, and that's how we met.
Yeah.
The Comedians in Cars show.
Hi, Jerry. How are you?
Fresh and sweet.
I showered for this. But these are great cities. So Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, I think got to get poutine, got to get smoked meat.
What is Putin?
Poutine is French fries.
No, this is not the guy who attacked Ukraine, is it?
No,
I don't want any of that.
Yeah. Well, it is kind of a weird dish. It's like French fries, gravy, and cheese curds. And then the
sounds
smoked
pretty
meat.
gross.
I think the fact that the Canadians, they call it smoked meat, it's so good they don't even have to tell you what meat it is.
Wow.
They're like, it's just
Great.
smoked meat.
This is what I really love about going out with you. The food is so good.
Oh,
You
we
know
gotta
the
do
best
it.
food everywhere.
We got to do it.
Yeah.
We got to do it. Now, there's different rituals. So, like,
I don't do what you do.
I will go out to dinner after a show, and when you go on tour, you'll do breakfast.
Yeah,
and
I
a
like
movie.
breakfast and lunch, and then I don't usually eat after that.
And so we're marrying these two traditions together.
But Jim Gaffigan has done tours with his
Yes.
family.
Yes.
I don't understand how, and he's done it in RVs. You did that to test yourself in some way.
Yeah, some of it is,
What did you want them to experience?
Some of it is I wanted to do sets, and I also didn't want to be away from them. But
That's so nice.
There is an unnecessary amount of stress that you put yourself in when you bring your family. It's just not their priority, and it shouldn't be. So when you're like, all right, I know you guys want to go to Disney, but I don't want to go because I have a show. They're like, why don't you just come for half a day? And you're like, I can't do that. I think that with comedians, fondness makes the heart grow fonder.
I don't think it's.
I don't
think
know
you
if
got
that's
that quite right.
I
but
think,
it was
but
close.
I said it with the right intonation.
You had the right intonation. But I don't think fondness makes the heart grow fonder. I don't think that's
Distance.
it. Yeah.
Distance makes that.
Distance makes you further away, would be the corollary to that.
But I think...
But with my family, I remember my kid being 10 saying to me, Dad, do you like what you do?
Yeah.
I remember thinking that they wanted to know that I liked it. I thought that was kind of interesting kid perspective on dads. Why are you doing this, and do you like doing it? And I also remember my son asking my wife, does Dad like anything? I was complaining about a cup holder in the car.
Yeah.
And my kid says, Mom, does Dad like anything? I go, one thing, you.
Yeah. No,
that was a sweet moment.
Another leg is Toledo. What's in Toledo? Tony Pacos. Okay? Toledo, not only the home of Jamie Farr from MASH and also Katie Holmes, but Toledo, all these Hungarian immigrants went and settled in the upper Midwest. Wow. And so they have a hot dog place. I call this the hot dog alley. But it's like, so Tony Pacos, you go there and you sign a hot dog bun. You got to go and sign a hot dog.
Great. I love it. This whole thing is sponsored by Ozempic, isn't it?
And so then we're also going to Columbus. Columbus is this, I think of Columbus as this new great American city. Obviously, it's
a very happening city.
As a Midwesterner, you go there and you're like, wow, there's Midwestern cities that are struggling, and then there's Midwestern cities that are thriving.
As we find all over the world, there are places doing well and others less well. Most comedians would say that you and I love it more than anybody else that I've ever met.
Yeah.
There is nothing, the planes, the airports, the hotels, the cars, the theaters, the crappy clubs, and I have always liked every single bit of it. You too.
Yeah, and I think, well, it's also evolved. I think that it's, because I remember I said to Steve Martin, now it sounds like I like traveling. And he goes, that's because you're getting paid. There's a solitary side to it.
Yes.
I'm not saying I like airports, but there is something.
I like airports. I actually like this.
Oh, the traveling?
I like just being bounced around like this for hours and hours. I like being shaken, and I like things going by. It really calms me. This is how we would compete. You get to the airport, your flight is delayed 3 hours. It doesn't bother me at all.
It doesn't.
No, I don't care.
But you're a robot, though.
I am.
Yeah.
Once I touch that bag in my closet, that's coming, the bag where I start packing, I just click.
By the way, I would say that I'm very proud of how I can pack very well. So, like,
you're pretty robot yourself, by the way. You keep
totally,
calling me robot.
No. It's the same. We're cut from the same cloth.
You're the guy that has the bag with you with material in it.
Oh, no, I'm the most anal retentive writer that has ever existed.
Really?
Like, I have to carry my notes with me. I've always been that type of person that's like had to do my homework or had to study for a test, so I don't have any shame in kind of the mystique.
Do you use a keyboard for your
I do.
stuff? Oh, I don't like that.
I know, you're a handwriter.
Yeah, I love penmanship.
Yeah. No, because I think that, I don't know if it's dyslexia or whatever, but I'll write something and then I'll have to change the words almost immediately.
Right. Oh, interesting.
And I verbally will say more complete sentences, but when I write things down, the connection from my brain, I'm like, duh, you know, it's just, there's like, it doesn't come out of here. It comes out of here. So we are also going to Charlotte, North Carolina. And so I go below the Mason-Dixon line and I just start thinking about barbecue. But Charlotte is also the home of Krispy Kreme. Now, you have a tradition when you get done with a big project where you have
donuts and champagne. That's how I celebrate.
Yeah.
It was after I did the Comedians in Cars episode with Obama at the White House.
Yeah.
And I got to do a comedy bit in the Oval Office outside the window. And I thought, that might have been the greatest moment of my life. You ready?
I got some stuff to do.
I mean, Has a comedian ever done a comedy bit in the Oval Office?
Are these washed?
So that was great. So I called my wife. I said, I want to celebrate. How do we celebrate? And I think of two great things, champagne and donuts.
Oh, it's too sweet on both ends.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But I like a local donut. There's something about things that are under glass and they pedestal. Mm-hmm. That pedestal, so it's like even closer to your mouth than a plate.
I'm really excited because outside of Omaha,
I can't believe you know every venue we're playing. I wouldn't know one of them.
Omaha, there's a great place called a runza. I don't know if you'll like it, but it is.
What is it?
It's called a runza.
I heard what it's called. What is it?
It is a pastry filled with meat.
Oh, that sounds
so
good.
it's kind of like,
I like that. I like a meat pie.
Right? But Omaha is also, great steaks, right?
Yeah, great steak. I don't understand how you ran into a weight problem.
So, and then, I'm not breaking any news, but I think one of the great eating cities in America is Kansas City.
Yeah, the barbecue there is amazing.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think that we do barbecue before and after.
Wow.
We do it before and after. We should feel sick.
Isn't it weird, though, that it's half in Missouri and half in Kansas?
It's very weird.
I find that uncomfortable. I wouldn't want to live in a place like that wasn't sure which state you're in. I got to know which state I'm in. Is that everything?
No.
I can't believe you know every one.
We're going to San Diego.
Oh, right.
San Diego. I can't believe more people don't live in San Diego. It's perfect weather year-round.
Mm-hmm.
You have...
And it's got an international flavor.
And you've got great Mexican food.
Yep. Mexican food is great. I love Mexican food. Yeah.
Then you go down to Baja. You do your surfing.
Yeah.
You know I'm a big surfer, don't you?
You are?
No, I'm not.
No.
Never done it. But
I was watching a lot of the Olympics as everyone else did, and my favorite personalities are the sprinters.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by their personalities. All sprinters have a God complex.
Really?
They think of themselves as godlike beings. And I thought, in stand-up, I mean, we don't, we're not as attractive as those people. They're like...
I mean, I am.
Yeah. I think you need an element of that to do comedy. You have to have what the hell are you doing talking while everyone sits there and just listens? That's a God complex.
That's the audacity.
The audacity, the arrogance.
Right. It's a certain kind of like, I'll do this.
Yeah, that was the most difficult thing for me to overcome when I started. How dare I speak while everyone else sits and listens? My first time going on stage, that was a gigantic issue for me.
Yeah.
How about you?
Oh, I was terrified.
You didn't think people should be listening to you.
I waited for someone to dare me, and then I tried to hide it from people for a long time. Because when people found out I was a comedian, they were initially impressed, and then the judgment would come in and be like, he's not that funny. You know what I mean? And you're like, then you feel like you have to defend it. And if you have a day job, you have to explain why you're tired. And they're like, well, if you weren't doing that comedy thing. And then it's like, how's the comedy thing going?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where people wouldn't do that if somebody had some other dream. But it goes back to like, you got to do it for yourself anyway.
Yep.
And then Phoenix prior to the prevalence of air conditioning just didn't exist. Now Phoenix is the fourth or third largest city in the country.
Fastest growing, but of course we'll go to Bianco Pizzeria there. He's a guy from the Bronx.
Yeah.
Him and his brother.
Is his last name Bianco?
It is.
Okay.
They didn't want to go to L.A. because everybody goes to L.A. They go, let's try Phoenix.
Oh, wow.
And he went there, and he's this genius Italian pizza guy, and he makes the best pizza in America. We're going there, and we're going there.
That's the best one.
It's the best pizza in America.
So let's take a look at the map, Jerry. I have pinned out where we're going.
Wow.
And if you connected, if I had a piece of string and we connected all these things, you know what would happen?
What?
Nothing. But it would be interesting.
Yeah.
But these, I'm so
It'd be
excited.
like solving a serial killing, wouldn't it?
Right,
If we,
it would
if we
be.
Put that's all we need is a string, and we're serial killers.
Wouldn't it be great if we did this tour and then some detective was like, there was someone murdered in every city the night they were there.
Yeah, and we would have an alibi of what we were eating,
And
so
then-
it couldn't have been us.
And then Mariska Hargitay would have to interview us.
Yes.
Right?